Hi everyone. So in this video, let's look into some Selenium scenarios. In this video, I'm going to discuss how to handle frames, how to handle nested frames. So let me get back to the application. So we have a very good website called Internet, which is being maintained by Heroku. Yes. So this is the page. Here, my objective is to print uh, this the text that is present on the screen. The text that is present on the screen here, we have left, middle, right, and the bottom. My first scenario is to print in this manner. First, I have to print left, middle, right, and then bottom onto the console. So I have to first print left, and then middle, and then right, and then finally bottom. So that is my first scenario. And my second scenario is going to be first I have to print right, and then bottom, and then middle and left. So first is right, and then bottom, and then middle, and then finally left. So let us see how to achieve this using Selenium. So let me get back to my IntelliJ IDE. So I did create a project, new project here, and I did add all the dependencies, WebDriver Manager to download all the drivers and to manage the driver, Selenium Java, and then TestNG. So these are my dependencies. So let me close the .xml file. Under SRC, we have two things, main and test. So I'm going to put all my code under the single class. So here, let me create a package, and here let me name it as internet tests. So inside this internet test, let me create a class, and I will name it nested frames test. Now inside this, let me create a quickly. Yeah, so here we're going to write our code. Let me create a test, the rate test, and inside this at the rate test, we're going to include our code. So this is my at the rate test. Now we have to initialize the driver, and I'm going to do it in before test or before method. Anything is fine. So I'm going to put it in before test for time being. So let's name it setup. Similarly, let's have after test as well. So you can include after test anywhere. It doesn't matter. It is not mandatory to add after at the rate test. You can add anywhere. It's just a method. So there is no any specific reason to add here or there. So after test, I have to input it. Let us name it here down. Okay. So this is my basic template. So here in the setup, I have to initialize the driver. So WebDriver Manager, we have WebDriver Manager that is coming from WebDriver Manager package dot now Chrome driver dot setup, and then let's initialize the WebDriver. So WebDriver driver is equal to new Chrome driver. Okay. Now I have my driver variable. Now using this driver variable, I'm gonna interact with my web pages. Since my other methods also should use the same driver object, I cannot keep this driver object as a local variable. Now I have to change it to as a global variable. So let me initialize here at the class level. Okay, so I have my driver variable initialized. Now using this driver variable, I'm gonna maximize the window. That's it. So I did maximize the window. That's it, right? So here, before test, let us navigate to our page as well. Driver dot get. will take us to this page. So let us copy the URL and paste it here. Now driver.get will take us to this URL. And now here at the in here at the rate after test. Finally, we have to quit the driver. So let me quit it. So that's it. We did initialize the driver and we did quit the driver. Now here, nested frame test. Let me name it nested frames test one, because we have two tests here. We have two scenarios. So let me create one more test and let me name it two. Okay. So we are good with the template now. Now let us add our code. Now here, if you observe, I'm going to write my first scenario inside nested frames test one, and I'm going to add my second scenario inside nested frames test two. Okay. What is my first scenario? My first scenario is to print left, middle, right, and bottom. Okay. So first I have to print left, and then middle, right, and then finally bottom. Okay. Can I directly print these things? Okay. First, let us inspect this. When I inspect, it is inside a body. So there's a text directly that is present inside the body tag. But if you observe keenly, it is present inside a frame. So this left text is present inside a frame, and the name of that frame is frame left. So let me minimize it. Okay. If you observe now, there are three frames. There are three frames: frame left, frame middle, and frame right. So the right, left, and middle, all these things are present inside a frame. Now, if you observe again, these three frames are present inside one more frame called as frame top. Now, if I minimize this in the high level, I have two frames. So this is my root HTML, or else our base page or root page. Inside this root page, we have two frames. One is frame top and frame bottom. If I expand frame bottom, now let me expand this document as well, and HTML and the body. So now bottom is directly present inside this frame. Now my bottom text is directly present inside this frame. But if you consider top frame, yes, this is my top frame. Inside this top frame, again, we have three frames: frame left, frame middle, and frame right. Left is present inside frame left, and middle is present inside frame middle, and the right text is present inside frame right. To visualize this, let me explain here inside. Yeah, it's using paint. So these are main window or a base window. Now inside this window, we have two frames. One is frame top, and the other one is frame bottom. And we have two frames, frame top and frame bottom. Now inside frame top, we have three more frames. Now inside frame top, we have three more frames. This is frame left. So this is frame middle. Sorry, frame left, frame middle, and then finally we have frame right. If I take text here, so bottom is directly present here. Bottom is directly present here. Here we have left. Here we have middle. And then finally we have right here. So these are the page is looking right now. Now, as soon as I log in or as soon as I navigate to this website, I will be on this root page or at the black frame. Or it's not a frame actually, it's a base page or else the actual website. And then to get left first, I have to navigate from this page to the top frame, and then from top frame to left frame. Okay, first I have to navigate to the top frame and then to left frame. Then I can get the text. Now after getting left, I have to get middle and then I have to get right. Now directly I cannot switch to left frame to middle frame. Okay, directly I cannot switch to left frame to middle frame. Now what should I do? Now first again I have to switch from left to top and then top to middle. Okay, and then get the middle text. And again I cannot directly switch from middle to right. I cannot switch from middle to right, or I cannot directly switch from left to middle as well. These two are not possible. So after getting the text middle, I have to switch back to the top frame. And then from top frame, I have to switch to right frame. So finally, I'll be getting the text right as well. And after getting text right, my next objective is to get the bottom text. Now again, directly I cannot switch from right to bottom. I cannot switch from right to bottom frame. Now what should I do? And if I switch to right to top frame, if I switch from right to top frame, and again from top frame to from the bottom frame directly I cannot switch. These are siblings. Okay. So I cannot switch among siblings frames. So here from top frame, when I switch, how to switch from right to top, I should use switch to top first, and now I am at top frame, and then from top frame directly I cannot switch to bottom. So again I have to switch to the main or as the default content, and then from default content I have to switch to bottom to get the bottom text. So let us write all the steps here. uh, First I will be on default content. Default content is my root, or else it is my starting point. So start, I'll be starting here the default content, and then to get the left text, first I have to switch to top frame. Okay, and then switch to left frame. Okay, and then here after switching, here I can get the text. Here I can. Okay, so here okay, for some reason I am not able to edit the text here. Okay, let me take a notepad. Okay, so my starting point is going to be default content, or and then I have to switch to top frame, and then I have to switch to left frame, and here I'm gonna get the left text. Here I'm gonna get the left text, and then after getting the left text, directly I cannot switch to middle. So first I have to switch to parent. Switch to parent, which is going to take me to top frame again. Just nothing but it will take me to top frame. And then once I'm in top frame, I have to switch to middle frame. And then once I'm at middle, I can get the middle text. And then directly I can switch from middle to right. Again, I have to switch to parent frame, which is nothing but top frame. And then I have to switch to right frame and get the text right from the right frame. Now again, I cannot directly switch from right frame to bottom frame. So I have to switch to top frame, which is nothing but, okay, switch to parent here, switch to parent, which will take me to top frame. Now directly I cannot navigate to top frame, from top frame to bottom frame. So again, I have to switch to parent. Now it is going to take me to default content, or else the default page that is present when we navigate. Now and then, now I am at default content. Now we have to switch to bottom frame, and from bottom frame I can get the text bottom. So this is my flow. So if you observe here, first we are switching in the last scenario, first from right to bottom, there are 3 steps because we have to switch to 2 top levels. First we have to switch to parent, and then again we have to apply switch to parent to get the default content. So directly, instead of using these 2 statements, directly I can say switch to default content. And then I'll be switching to bottom frame, and then I'll be getting the bottom text. So this is gonna be my first scenario. So this is my scenario 1. Okay. First let us implement the scenario, and then let's get to scenario 2. Okay. Now let us take all the frame names. Now frame is having name. How to switch? Okay. First let me go to the code. Here, what is my first line? My first line by default I'm gonna be on uh, default content, and then I have to switch to the top frame. My first step is to switch to the top frame. Now I can ask driver to driver dot. If we have a method called switch to dot, we have something called as name switch to frame. Now you can switch to frame using index or name or ID, or by finding that frame web element. But I am gonna use this frame which takes the name. If you observe the frame top, frame bottom, frame right, frame middle, and frame right is the name of these frames. Okay, frame hyphen top. So first I have to switch to top frame. So I have to switch to frame hyphen top. Okay. Now, okay. Switching to the top frame, and then I have to switch to the left frame. Switching to left frame, here I can get the text. So how to get the text? Driver dot find element. Directly I'm going to take it from the body, and then we can use get text, and let me trim it so it will remove all the white spaces. Okay, here we have to specify the logic text path. Right, so this is how I'm gonna get text here. So let us print on the text onto the console. So finally I have to right. So yeah, and then again I have to switch to parent. How to switch to parent? So driver dot switch to dot parent frame. Directly I have a method called parent frame, and then after switching to parent frame I have to switch to middle frame. So how to switch to middle frame? It's the same command, but here I should use, okay, so here I should use frame left, frame left, and here I have to use frame middle. Please check it out. Yes, frame top one. Yeah, we are good. Right. Frame middle, and after switching to frame middle, I have to get the text from the body. Copy this and paste it. That's it. So here I'm gonna get the left text, and here I'm gonna get the middle text, and then again repeat the same process to get the right text. Right, just copy the whole code, paste it here, but here have to navigate to frame right. I'm going to get the right text right as well. And after getting text right, I should switch to default content and then to frame bottom. So let me copy the same code. But first here, instead of going to parent frame, here we have to switch to default content. And after switching to default content, we have to switch to frame bottom. And then if I ask driver to get the text, it's gonna give me the bottom text. So this is the code. Let's run it and let's check whether it's working fine or not. Now, yes. So first we got left and then middle and then right and then finally bottom. So this is what we expected, right? Left, middle, right, and bottom. So this is scenario number one. Now let us automate scenario number two as well. If you observe in scenario number two, first I have to get the right frame and then the bottom frame and then the middle and then the left. Okay. First I have to get the right frame. How to get the right frame? So this is my frame diagram. Okay, so here first I have to get, so by default I'm going to be on the, okay, let me write the text here. Okay, by default I'm going to be at the default content. This is my starting point. So after being in the default content, I have to get the text right. So how to get the text right? I have to switch to first, switch to top and then switch to right. Okay, here I can get the right text. Here I can get the right text. And then my second task is to get the bottom text. Now how to get the bottom text? Now bottom text is present inside bottom frame. So directly I cannot switch from right frame to bottom frame. So first I have to switch to default content. This is going to take me to the root or else the page level. And then from here I have to switch to bottom frame. And then here I can get the bottom text. So after getting the bottom text, my next objective is to get the middle text. So again, I cannot directly switch from bottom frame to middle frame. So again, I have to switch to default content. Here I can use default content or parent because both are gonna take me to the default content only. After switching to default content, I have to switch to middle and then get the middle text. After getting the middle text, I have to get the text left as well. Now to get the left text directly ahead, I can switch to, here I can switch to parent and then switch to left and then finally get the left text. So now these are my steps. So if I follow these steps, I'm gonna achieve the second scenario. Now let us see how to achieve this. Where is my code? Let us open this code. Now here, yeah, this is my second scenario. By default, I'm gonna be at the default content. And then first thing I have to do is to switch to top. How to switch to top? I have to ask driver to switch to frame, which is going to be frame top. So after switching to frame top, I have to switch to frame right. So this is my scenario 2, guys. So open is scenario 2. Let me delete it. Okay, so first I have to switch. So this is my this is my second scenario. This is my second scenario. Right. After switching to top, I have to switch to right. After switching to right, I have to get the text. So let me copy the code from the scenario. Here I have to get the top text. Okay. And then again I have to switch to default content and to the bottom. How to do that? Let us copy the whole thing. Here first I have to switch to default content. Switch to default content and then have to switch to frame bottom. Then I have to get the text. Okay. And then again I'm gonna repeat the same code again. Here first to default content and then to middle. Okay, if you observe here, I did a mistake. After switching to default content, directly I cannot switch to middle. First I have to switch to top and then I have to switch to middle. Okay, so let us, so here from the default content directly I cannot switch to middle because there is a one more frame in between, that is switch to frame which is to top. So still have to switch to top frame and then only I can switch to middle frame. Okay, so this is how I can switch to middle frame and get the text. And after switching to middle frame, finally I have to switch to parent. So here, right, let me remove all these things. Okay, let me remove all the things. Let me write it from starting. Yeah, driver dot switch to dot. I have to switch to parent, right? So parent frame, and after switching to parent frame, I have to switch to frame left. Copy this and paste it here. Frame left. And after switching to frame left, I have to switch to. I have to get the text, right? I have to get the text. So now this is my second text, second test. So let us run the second test alone. We should get as expected. Okay. Now, right. So here is my right, bottom, middle, and left, right? So right, bottom, middle, and left. So this is how I navigate to frames and get the text. I think we did cover all the frame methods. Switching to a frame, switching to parent content, or switching to default content, and then switching to parent frame. Okay. Yeah. So that's it for this video, guys. Yeah. Thank you.